walks into a Dollar General with a semi-automatic rifle and a pistol and starts shooting black people. This is America. This is the United States of America. According to the sheriff, the shooter, who they haven't named yet, is believed to have acted alone and allegedly wanted to kill himself. He lived in Jacksonville's Clay County with his parents and authored several manifestos, including one to his parents and another to the media. And the sheriff adds that at least one of the guns had a swastika drawn on it. Because why not? It's Florida. Ron Bag said that the gunman was a scumbag and described the shooting as horrific. I agree with you, dickhead. You go on to say that the gunman was targeting people based on their race. That is totally unacceptable. 2 for 2. I absolutely agree. Then you said the guy killed himself rather than face the music and accept responsibility for his actions, and so he took the coward's way out. He didn't accept responsibility for his actions. Actions that were made infinitely more simple to commit because he lived in Florida. For one thing, Nazis feel real comfy in your state, Governor. Why is that? Why do they feel so safe in your state? I'm sure it has nothing to do with the fact that in January of last year in Orlando, a bunch of neo-Nazis staged a demonstration at an overpass over the highway, and you called it an attempt by Democrats to smear you.
All right, guys, so we got to talk about an absolutely horrible story out of Florida involving a man who is white that walked into a Dollar General and killed 3 people who were black. Now, as far as the story is right now, and it's still early on, the story could change, but this is the story as of right now. This was a racially motivated hate crime, okay? This was allegedly done because the man hates black people, and apparently he has a manifesto, and we have immediate information about why this occurred. Now, this is just one of a series of videos that I've done, okay, in which you do have racially motivated hate crimes. A lot of videos that I've done recently have been in the opposite direction, okay, when we're talking about black men or black gunmen going and killing people because they're white, okay? I talk about it in both directions, okay? So I want people to understand that. But again, clearly this is an issue. So I want to talk about this incident, mainly because, again, it is a tragic incident, and, you know, we should all have the victims of this incident in our thoughts and prayers. Clearly, it is terrible to just be out at Dollar General and then some lunatic decides to open fire on you because of your skin color. That is not right. That is unacceptable in this country. And I want to see a lot less of this going both ways in this country, to be quite honest with you. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. I want to talk about it. So let's go ahead and play this clip so you guys can get a better understanding of kind of what happened in this situation. Take a look.
Confirmed with sources and neighbors, this again is the suspect, Ryan Palmeter. Action Jax is live in Oakleaf outside the suspect's home. And Jake Stofan is there. Parents called the Clay County Sheriff's Office this morning after they found a hate-filled manifesto in the home.
Well, according to Jacksonville Sheriff T.K. Waters, there were multiple manifestos left behind by the shooter, making it explicitly clear his hatred towards black people. Now, neighbors here told me they had no idea 21-year-old Ryan Palmeter held those racial resentments, but one neighbor did tell me he came off as an unhappy, standoffish young man. Photo of 21-year-old Ryan Palmeter as the man who carried out today's tragic mass shooting at a Newtown Dollar General. Sheriff's deputies were present outside Palmeter's home throughout the day and into the evening. Jacksonville Sheriff T.K. Waters said Palmeter's parents had called Clay County Sheriff's Office earlier in the day, reporting their son had left behind a manifesto.
By that time, he had already began shooting in Jacksonville.
Sheriff Waters says the shooter's victims were all black. Waters says his multiple manifestos and the swastikas drawn on his AR-15 style rifle made it undeniably clear his rampage was racially motivated.
This shooting was racially motivated, and he hated black people. He wanted to kill.
Waters also noted Paul Meter had previously been Baker acted in 2017 and was involved in a domestic call in 2016, but had no history of arrest, adding it was unclear whether he obtained his firearms legally.
I can't say that he owned them, but I know his parents did. His parents didn't want them in their house.
Neighbor Patty Grisby wasn't familiar with Paul Meter, but was shocked when she found out he lived just a few doors down and her children often play around the neighborhood.
I mean, they ride their bikes, they play outside. I mean, it's just really scary. I mean, I really have goosebumps just thinking about it's right here in our neighborhood, the quiet little street.
Sabina Escalada lives across the street from the gunman's home.
He's just on the outside, seemed like a typical teenager, you know, like didn't seem very happy sometimes, or just wanted to keep to himself.
She said she didn't know Paul Meter well, but said she had a good relationship with his parents, saying she was heartbroken when she heard the news.
It's hard thinking about like your own child doing something like that, and you feel for the family.
And according to Mayor Donna Deegan, the shooter made it clear in his manifestos he was aware today marked the 5th anniversary of the Landing shooting. Neighbors here obviously left asking themselves how a member of their own community could be capable of carrying out such a vicious attack and how he managed to slip through the cracks for so long. For local coverage you can count on live in Oakleaf, I'm Jake Stofan, Action News Jacks.
Yeah, so again, that's a tragic incident, okay? It's something that we really should not see happen in this country. And again, my thoughts and prayers are with the family members and the victims in this situation this time. Apparently, this guy was also targeting a local HBCU as well, too. Apparently, a security guard had spotted him, and then the guy had essentially ran away when a security guard had spotted him. So again, this guy was clearly targeting black people, so it seems, according to the manifesto. We're going to talk a little bit more about that and some strange things that are going on with this incident in general. But I want to read this tweet right here from Tariq Nasheed, because again, you have the woke race hustlers of America once again blaming the GOP for something like this when stuff like this happens. So they're trying to take advantage of it. So let's read here. The latest anti-black massacre at the hands of another radicalized white supremacist is a result of constant anti-black rhetoric being normalized by people like Ron DeSantis and the liberal white media for giving DeSantis, Vivek Ramaswamy, and others a platform to spew their anti-black rhetoric. Again, I wonder what specifically did they say that's anti-black, right? Like, for example, being against affirmative action, or I don't know, maybe we shouldn't have queer studies taught in African-American history. Again, I'm trying to figure out exactly what is anti-black about anything that Vivek Ramaswamy or Ron DeSantis have said, and how in the world did that motivate this? Again, people just go on the internet and just say anything, right? That's one thing I know about the internet. People will literally go on the internet and just say anything, okay? But hey, I can point to a whole lot of anti-white things that are said in the media and by Democrats that, hey, I could argue motivated some of the mass shootings against white people, okay? And I've covered a couple of those stories where we have situations where a black shooter went and hunted down white people and killed them just because they were white. And we know that that's what they did because they admitted to it, okay? And again, you don't see the same type of coverage. You don't see the same type of concern. You don't see people going out here and blaming Democrats and the liberal media for spewing anti-white rhetoric. But you have a situation like this, the first thing these people want to do is try to blame the GOP and say, oh, well, it's because the GOP is anti-black rhetoric. Again, I'm trying to figure out exactly what anti-black rhetoric coming from the GOP inspired this. Because I can name a whole lot of it coming from the left. Like, for example, when you call people who disagree with you Nazis and white supremacists, okay, and all types of other things. Yeah, I think that would motivate an anti-white shooting. This is platform on mainstream liberal media. The benign neglect policies from the Biden administration that refuses to give specific protections to black citizens from these attacks is part of the problem as well. Again, I'm trying, what protections do you want? What protections would have prevented this from happening? What could have Biden had done to give more protection to black citizens to prevent this from happening? What are you looking for? It's already being investigated and probably will be charged as a hate crime. knowing what we know now. So what more protections do you want? I don't understand. This guy's going to go, well, he's dead. He deleted himself. But if he was to be caught, okay, if he was to be caught alive, he would have been charged to the fullest extent of the law and plus had hate crime charges on top of it. What exactly are you looking for? Again, this is the real grift right here. This man is trying to pretend that there's something more that could have been done to punish the person that committed this act when this person would have already been punished to the fullest extent of the law. I'm trying to figure out exactly what this guy is getting at. In Florida, allowing permitless carry last month helped people to act on this anti-black propaganda. Again, it's just nonsense. It really is. But isn't it crazy how in a situation like this, we know the motive immediately? Okay, he has a manifesto. I guarantee you the manifesto will be released immediately. However, when it comes to the Nashville shooting, that manifesto, they don't really want to put it out there because it might be dangerous. Maybe I can argue that in a situation like this, releasing this manifesto might be dangerous, right? We can make the same argument, right? Releasing this manifesto might make it easier for attacks like this to happen again. It might motivate copycats because that is the excuse that has been used not to release the Nashville shooters manifesto. I found all this stuff to be fascinating, right? Truly fascinating. I find it fascinating how this guy used the AR-15, which is the most hated gun by the left for whatever reason. I really don't know. I don't know what really is so scary about that compared to other sporting rifles, but hey, I mean that's their scary gun of choice. He decorated it with swastikas to kill black folks in deep state Florida, which is also hated by the left. And he deleted himself before anybody could ask any questions. Seems legit, right? Seems legit, right? It seems pretty straightforward, right? I'm just saying, man. I mean, I just find the difference in regards to how the media treats these incidents to be fascinating. Okay, again, we're not going to get the Nashville shooter manifesto. We're not going to get that, okay? But we're going to get this immediately. I guarantee you. No doubt, within a week, we're going to have a manifesto, okay? I've covered a few stories in the past about how you've had, these types of hate crimes that happen where, a black person kill white people because they're white, but it's not going to get the same mainstream liberal media coverage, right? People aren't going to be out here, talking about it as much, right? And talking about how much this is a big problem in the country. Again, it's just amazing to me the difference. But regardless, with that being said, again, this is a tragic incident. Clearly nobody likes to see anything like this happen. It's terrible. The shooter was a coward. Okay. He took the easy way out. And, this is something that unfortunately we do see in this country. I just wish that when it happens on both sides that we would give the same type of attention to it and condemn it the same. But unfortunately, we don't live in a country like that. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.